It is always games and demos. Why is it games and demos? That is never, like, that's everything. And it is, I am playing Devil May Cry 5. Okay.
Devil May Cry.
Hello, Ace. Wait, my mic was way up. So I have a few things I want to talk about. I've had like a Twitter tab open for a while because I wanted to talk about it on stream. I will forget about it again, but because I thought I could send this to someone, and then I was like, I don't know who I'd send this to without it being weird and political. So I could do, if I want to be weird and political, where better to do it than in my own stream? But I am assuming from your posts on the Twitter that perhaps there may be some fandom I was gonna say heresy, as though like heresy and horrendous could be combined to make a new word, but they can't. Some fandom bullshit going on. Because I saw you say that people were very dumb and some of you are kind of horrible, and what was it that you were angry as well? Also, thank you again for coming by and for retweeting and everything. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Ah, okay. Well, venting about sicknesses isn't quite as satisfying as venting about people in my experience. But venting about sickness can help. Or family, or what. But I did wake up with an awful headache today, though. Like, worse than usual. One of you fuckers. Which one of you son of a bitches? Oh yeah. Do you have most liked tweets on, or do you have tweets from those I follow on? Because on Twitter, at the very top, in the middle... Oh, that's not very nice. Because in the middle on the top right, there's a little thing you can click, the little star thing, this sparkle thingy, and that's where it comes from. It's stupid that they're like, we're gonna shove popular things into your feed. By popular, that includes controversial. Because we want you angry. Because even if angry people don't necessarily add to the fire, they do get angry. And angry people do things and say things. And that makes money. I hate Twitter. I use it daily, but still. I'm sorry if you do use tweets from people I follow in chronological order, that one, and I'm just being an annoying mansplainer or something. I'm sorry if I am. But it's just that Twitter does not tell you how to do this. I also turn that off because a lot of my friends... Oh, okay. I also turn that off because a lot of my friends are perverts, and then I go on Twitter and it's like, your friend likes some porn, and I'm like, I don't need to know that. Or I'm like, I don't need to know that. That friend has good... Oh, that friend is into that, I see. Like, it'll just be like, yo, look at these big anime titties that your friend liked. I'm like, I didn't need to know. Bookmark. Or it's just like, okay, I didn't know that well, good to know that person who never talks is a feminist, okay. Or it's like, I don't know, it's like, I guess this person really likes Klonoa, alright. I never really played it. I played the demo for the remakes, they're good. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to make some distance. God, I'm bad at... Perhaps I should read... So my habit is generally to read things from the computer screen because the spacing is better than it is on PlayStation. And they refuse to make things transparent. That was not the right timing. And when I do that, I look away from the screen, but I don't want you to stop typing. No, I want to see what you have to say. But you know what I do really want, though? $1 billion. And money. So my mother bought a pumpkin and carved a jack-o'-lantern. I am now realizing the joke about jack-o'-lantern. That it's not like Jack-o'-something. It's Jack, first name, O'Lantern, instead of Jack O'Leary. It's just supposed to be like an Irish name. It's not... Jack of the Lantern. It's Jack O'Lantern. Oh, Lantern, you're being like that again. But like as a name. But it has an excellent flow, so everybody used it. I think that's my guess. Oh, it was Jack of the Lantern? Damn it. I would like my brain to, like, it's like a horrible post office in there, and I want it to be, everybody's brain is a post office, right? I would like mine to be an organized one. But mine is just letters flying through the air, like from a Christmas movie. Yes. Was it on Tumblr or Twitter? I saw somebody say, "I think we got out the dog emoji, the dog comic strip saying this is fine. I think we brought that out and used it way too soon." And I'm like, I think they make a point. That's the thing, though, is that, like, have you seen or read the book, the work of fiction Holes? Where the one kid in juvie, or the camp, I think it's X-Ray or something, he says, you may think, he's like, oh yeah, the first day's the hardest, and then he's like, yeah, you know, the first day, I was kidding, it's actually the second day that's the hardest. And then on the third day, he's like, you know what, I was going easy on you, it's the third day that's the hardest. And he keeps doing that for the rest, and it's like, the point being that every day feels like the worst, and it feels bad, and that's what it's been. It's hard to say, like, things have been okay, let's see, like, elected, let's say 2015. Man, this guy running for president is acting like a fascist. This guy running for president was disowned by every Republican. He's been nominated. He's not gonna be president, though. Okay, he got voted in, but it wasn't the popular. Okay, so he did get voted in. Okay, so people are going into camps. Okay, so, he's banning Muslims. Okay, he fired the guy investigating him. Okay, he is getting impeached. Okay, he didn't entirely get impeached. Okay, someone is attacking the White House. He didn't get impeached again. Okay, he's out of office. And it's like, he is still doing stuff, and there are still Nazis all over. Also, I saw some conservative, I think it was, what's her name? Daughter of, John McCain. I think she's like, oh, if Trump gets nominated again, the Republican Party will collapse. I'm like, you said shit like that last time. I don't believe everybody said things like that last time. That's not what happened. Like, at least the thing is that, like, seems like there was a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people, and that's why 2020 broke records. Okay, yeah. Oh, right. The other thing, I had two other things I wanted to talk about. One being the tweet, and the other being a thing related to Obama. You may wonder why I don't talk about Canadian politics very much. It's because it's a boring country, and also, I don't go outside. And talking about it would require talking to other Canadians, which would be people I actually know. And talking to people you know about politics is dangerous. Yeah. Let's get airport. And it's like, oh man, but there's controversy. The Canadian Prime Minister might have accepted money from somebody. And I'm like, the President of the United States was literally like hanging out with people from the Russian mob. That's baby bitch. Like, he wore brown face. The other guy's dad went to Klan meetings. He said black people weren't allowed in his buildings. I'm not saying that Trudeau is, like, good. I'm saying it doesn't seem like as nearly as big a deal. Yeah. There's corruption in politics. Yes, it is very real, and I'm pretty sure that happens all the time. And I would like things to be better. But, you know, I have very little power in this world. And I don't... Yeah. Please stop hitting me like that. Thank you. It's like, all these like, each time they keep dangling. Oh wow, that's awesome and horrifying. I'm sorry. Remember when, like, they dangled the carrot or the football twice? I say they, but by they I mean the universe was like, Bernie Sanders has a real shot. And I'm like, don't say this shit in 2020. Not again. Don't give me hope. They're like, LOL, he's out of money. And then people like, will pay for him, and it's like, no, it's not working. I'm like, dude, please. I'm gonna go cheapo mode. Nope, this is cheapo mode. Here we go. Dad has called it DT farming. I do it all the time. I would also like to say, one of the two things I thought about that I would like to talk about. All the things are political, by the way. So, one is I think it's on Obama's Wikipedia. It says he identifies as black, and I'm like, oh, like he identify, like, as though it's like he's like, oh yeah, you know me, big Yankees fan. It's like, oh, he's biracial, but he identifies as black. I'm like, do you know what happens? Do you think that, like, he is given, like, a choice, like, left side, right side? And it's like, do you know what mixed race children with white ancestry who do not look white are called? Whatever the non-white thing is, or a slur. Like, those are the options. You know what happened? What would happen if Obama said, I'm like, what was he, the 40? He's like, I'm the 44th white president. People would assume it was a joke. Or they would get very upset. Now, I have also literally thought of that as a bit, my bit being that I identify as a white person of color. As a stand-up bit, talk about, but it's as though, like, you know, some people think it's like, oh, that's how like it's not like a religion where you opt in at some, it's like, oh, this is what you're born as, and but you can like change it as you grow up. No, it's how you're perceived and what you know about your ancestry. And guess what, you can constantly say you're mixed, but can you identify as white? No, because whiteness involves purity. It was just the word identifies. Yeah, it's like describes himself, like he doesn't go up on stage and say, man, I love golf and and he's like, I love golf, polka music, and I'm trying to think of something where it's like, and the works of Bill Murray, or and Star Wars. Those things speak to me. Okay, come on. Let's do this. Wrestling is very cool, and I'm glad that Nero gets to do it. Oh yeah, the other thing. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it during a boss fight. Like, I've told you before about how I have not called myself white, but brought up that my mother was white, and people disagreed and argued with me. People have argued with me about who my parents are multiple times. And it's not like I claimed my dad was the king or something. It's just that they act like, here's the ancestry he identifies with. And it's like, well, yeah, that's because he's not allowed to identify personally, like publicly, with the other one. At least not wholly. Oh, I'm not close enough to pick them up. You know what? Those orb... you know what? I said the orbs weren't very big before in Devil May Cry 5. You know what? I wasn't thinking of those big clusters. I would like to rectify my statement a bit. They're decent size, but the thing is in 4 is that they're like up to your chest. And they glow a lot more. They're very bright. They're a very bright red, you know? Okay, so next up is floor 70. Alright, so... okay, so also, unrelated. I looked at... it's funny. It's fine. It's funny. I looked up images of Orihime on the Bleach Wiki today because I'm weak. And a lot of the image descriptions were like Orihime watching somebody else do something. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so I'm posting this tweet from Phil Lewis describing GOP candidate Randy Kaufman. I'm gonna post. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, because it's Huffington Post, and I can't remember if that's one of those things that I'm not allowed to read too many articles of, because they're like, how dare you, you motherfucker. You have read 5 articles of ours in the past. He was arrested for allegedly masturbating in a truck near a preschool. He said, I fucked up. Kaufman appeared to be looking at a cell phone in one hand, the police report said. I immediately became alarmed when I saw he had his pants down mid-thigh and was exposed, showing his fully erect, nude genitals. He was manipulating his genitals in a masturbatory manner. It said that he didn't seem to notice the officer at first, but Kaufman was in view of a nearby bicyclist and a preschool where children were playing outside. When confronted, the officer said he apologized. I'm sorry, Kaufman said, according to the report. I fucked up. I'm really stressed. He's told the police that he was a former officer and that he didn't know there was a preschool just feet away. Are you going to put that in the report? Asked Kaufman. Don't you see how alarming that is? The officer responded, that there are children on by, that people passing on bikes and in cars, and they can look and see what you're doing. It is apparently too late to remove his name from the ballot. Some people have already voted early. He said he will never stop fighting to protect the Constitution and the values that make America the greatest country in the world. He did not respond to a request for comment. It's just like, yo, man, you got anything to say for yourself? It's like, nope. Oh, also, there's like, it wasn't in that article, but he was it's like, what were you even watching? He's like, I was watching interracial porn, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to that. I don't have any response either. Oh man. Now I didn't know who to send that to because it's a weird thing to talk about. And I'm sorry if it made you uncomfortable, but it's also really funny in a bad way, you know? Like, just the I could see a cop going like, what's that? Okay, let's see, look around. Yo, what the fuck is that guy? Is that the guy running for Congress? Or Senate or whatever? Is that... He goes over, dude, what the fuck are you doing? We can see you. You're near a preschool. And he's like, oh shit, dude, I fucked up. And it's like, what do you mean you fucked up, man? What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I've just been really stressed. It's like, then go home. Why are you doing that in your truck? Why don't you just breathe or pull the seat back and just lay there for like 15 minutes? So many bad decisions. Like, you know what I do when I'm stressed and I have my phone out? Let's see, what do I do? If I'm in a car, I play Game Boy games. If I'm at home on the internet, I go and reread like a chapter of One Piece or something, like, so not that. Like, dude, go to a massage parlor or something. Not for that, but for stress. Or talk to a therapist. You know what? No matter what, talk to a therapist. Some people need a little bit more shame, alright? I think sex positivity is good, but maybe a little bit of negativity is required. Yeah. It's like, dude, you could have just read a book or listened to music. Listen to angry music, even, like, just... Sir, none of that just happened by coincidence. Yeah. It's like, it was an accident. What was an accident? Did you trip? In a car? Like, you are inside a car, you were moving, you weren't moving. Those were all choices. Really, really bad choices. Also, you, like, God, you cannot run for, like, no, I don't care how many early voters there are. No, like, if he does somehow get into office, he has to retire immediately. To repeat, fell into my wiener fell into my hand repeatedly. I tripped many times. But, like, just, dude, if you get into office, people are going to make fun of you too much for you to have any kind of public announcement. Yeah, he says that his campaign has been suspended, but he can't, like, withdraw from the race. I really do have to get better at fighting Furies with Nero. I know the answer is Gerber, Ragtime, Shuffle, DT. Those are your options for defense. But your best option for attack is usually just any strong single hit, particularly Battery or Buster. But, like, they just never stop moving. It's their deal. Also, yes, he kept saying how he wanted to protect children. It's like, dude, this is... I don't think there can be a worse look without you committing a violent crime. Also, I don't think it said he was charged or anything, because that's definitely a crime. Okay. That is a crime. That's indecent exposure. He should be more than just not allowed to run, like he should be facing consequences. 'Cause that's gross, dude. Be as insane as you can. Go wild. A goth emo nostalgia thing is pretty... It makes me feel old. Even though it's never like died, it just makes me feel old. Because it's like, oh yeah, Avril Lavigne is in her 30s. I'm like, shut up. You're not allowed to tell me that.
Let's get airborne.
It's not true. Yeah, none of the impression I've been given has been that they're doing this for the money.
Let's get airborne. Take your time.
Like, now old, or like they look like they're in their 60s old? Okay. That's fun. It might feel weird to look at though, and to see art of yourself as old. Wait, is it art or is it like an edited photo, or are they in makeup or what? Yeah, that is nice. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Back to the farm. Oh. Oh, okay.
Guess who's getting the rest kicked?
Wearing a wig of your old hair has gotta be weird. Swerved on you. No, that's fine. We have a lot in our systems. Today I was just like, Enna sang this song very well, and I hope Ace doesn't mind. I hope I need somebody to know. This tiny girl on the internet can really sing this one, well, many songs very well. And this one song she killed, and it's a very hard song. She's so good. Unfortunately, she likes League of Legends, which is a problem. Nobody's perfect.
Let's get air.
I can't remember. I feel like I don't think I was there live, but I watched it like the same day. And I was like, oh, she's just winning. She is winning music. So, on the other hand, there are other VTubers that I love who were not particularly great singers at their start. They were one was okay, but then she keeps singing the same song over the years, and then she's been getting better, and it's nice to see. all her practice is paying off.
Who's up next?
Scum! God, I love how Nero can repeat lines from Virgil and give them different meaning. Like, Virgil's like, scum! And lots of people edit it and make it say cum, of course. But he's like, scum! And he stomps them into the ground. It's cool. I love Devil May Cry. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Someone back on I can't remember if they were at that point Castle Super Beast or Super Best Friends play, but on that podcast at one point Pat said, well, we didn't think about it at the time because we were fucking children, and people were like, that's not the good place to put that word, Pat. You need to not say it like, you need to put that word somewhere else. Say that back at that fucking time we were children. There's also this one time where he said something that was not out of context, but was him having so Pat's white and Wooly is black, and Pat unintentionally did a racism live on the podcast, where he's like, where at length Wooly talked about how his parents were. Oh, okay. And Wooly is married to a white woman. And Wooly was talking about how his parents were and how people tend to be where his family is from, which is Jamaica and Grenada. And then Pat said, so are you gonna raise your kids like a black parent or like a normal parent? And then he's like, did you think about what you just said? And he's like, what, did I say something fucked up? And he's like, you did. And he just holds for a second. He's like, oh fuck. Oh, that's really bad. And then you can see his face turn red, and he looks away from the camera, realizing he just said something super racist by accident to his best friend of like over a decade. And it's one of the best things. Just like, do you know what you just said right now? Dude, I did not see that coming. I did not realize that was the sound cue. I was thinking about, like, so they used to, so part of their gags were that, is similar to things I've suggested that they do at the hand. Whenever someone is not there, throw them under the bus as hard as you can. And then when they come back, they will have to deal with comments making fun of them for a thing they do not understand. And then keep that going. And then everybody will be like accused of something as an weird in-joke. and they used to joke that Pat was a white supremacist whenever he wasn't there, and they joked that Wooly had murdered someone. So, and then people were like, white supremacist Pat returns. It's not a great it's not a great one to get stuck with. Also, part of that joke was that, like, Pat is he is quite below average height. So him calling himself like a supreme specimen of and he's also very bald. Like, he went bald in his 20s or his teen. No, he said he started going bald in high school. So he's 5'2", if you're wondering. And his girlfriend is 5'4", and people assume she's really tall because they just see a dude and with his girlfriend, and she's bigger, and they're like, oh, she's like really tall, right? He's like, and it's like, nope, he's not tall either. He's 5'4", he's 5'2". Also, there was this weird effect where, like, there were 4 of them initially, and of the 4, like, I think, what was it? Pat was like 5'2", Matt was like 5'5", and Liam was like 5'6", and Wooly is like 6 foot even, so he looked fucking gigantic around them. He just looked enormous. So people assumed that, like, they saw all these adult men, and then there was this one dude who towered over the rest of them. So people thought he was like 6'5". No, everybody else was just short. Like, Mike, what's his name? Not Michael Scott. What the hell is the actual Steve Carell is like 5'7", which isn't especially short. And then, what's his name? BJ Novak is also like around that height, I think, or like 5'8" or something. And then, what are the names? John Krasinski and Rain something. Oh god, what's his last name? Rain something. Anyway, the guy who plays Dwight, they're like 6'3" and 6'2", respectively. So they always look enormous, and it always makes Michael and Ryan look really short when it's just really tall people around them all the time. Or there's that joke where, in How I Met Your Mother, where Marshall feels like he's not a very big guy because he's 6'4", and everybody else in his family is like, his mother is like 6'3" or something, and then every other man in his family is like over 6.5 feet tall, including his dad, Patrick Starr. I know his name is like Bill Foggerbaka or something, but he's Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, who is that? And then I googled it, and they're like, that's Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. Sorry, I can't think of you as anybody else, ever. The you have been in cartoons I've watched since I was like 2 years old syndrome. Mm-hmm. I will look pretty short then.
Right now. Let's get airborne.
On my dad's side, there's a very broad range of heights since most of them are adopted. And it's not like that, it's just like, yeah, we all have different parents, so we differ in height. Oh, come on, come on. Yeah.
Right now.
Oh yeah, I know Graham's that tall. Yeah. And also I assume, so I told you before that before I met that before I actually looked at any pictures of his family, I just assumed everybody was like, yeah, that everybody was like just Graham around like the Thanksgiving table, like it's fucking Nisbet or whatever, like the Nutty Professor. Everybody's just played by Grahams of various sizes, and I'm like, you know, that's probably not what his family looks like. And then I saw, at some point, I think you posted a picture of like Jester and your dad, and I was like, no, they do look like Graham. I was like, you don't look as much like Graham, and and I was like, no, first doesn't look identical to Graham, no. I also have very weird standards of what people in their families are supposed to look like, because I look like my dad, my brother looks like my dad, and nobody else in the family looks like my dad. And then I don't look like my mother, but everybody on her side looks like her. All sort of brown haired that's a little bit reddish, very pale and freckly. Oh, I was not looking. I've been taking a lot of hits. I've been playing too many fighting games where taking hits is fine. Whereas this game is like, you took a hit. And unfortunately, when I compromise all my ethics and pick up Bayonetta on Friday, so whenever you take a hit in Bayonetta, the game is like, look who's a fucking idiot. It's you stupid bitch. You got hit. You are a dumb mother. Like, it makes this awful noise. The game stops. I think the music changes a bit. And then you hear and then it's like, you see this big red blood stain on Bayonetta, and she goes, oh, and stumbles, and all of the flow is ruined, and it's like, look what you did. Look at it. Look at what you did. Like, it rubs your face in it so that you know not to do it again. But, you know, you're a human being who makes mistakes. Alleged. yes, I've been identified as my dad's son by strangers multiple times. And someone was like, "Are you?" It's like that's your son to my dad, and he's like, "That's what I've been told," or that's what his mother tells me, and he's like, "I don't think you have anything to worry about." My dad says that as a joke because if you know who my mother is, the idea that she would cheat on someone is hilarious because she is like she doesn't, when she sets out Halloween candy, she doesn't just put candy in a bowl, she puts every bit of candy into a plastic bag of even amounts so that every child gets the same amount. She wants everybody to be, and she does that with our candy. She counts all the candy and makes sure that we both get the same amount. Basically, if you want to know how my mother behaves, think of Eddard Stark from Game of Thrones, but that's against the rule, or any character like that. See, my perception of normal people has been distorted by the fact that a lot of people I know in real life act like fictional characters. No, I wanted to shoot this guy. Good. Fuck. Thank you. I know there's no such thing as a normal life, but I think most of my life is pretty not normal. Aside from being poor. Though being poor has become more common, more popular. Though people do treat it like a trend. Live in this tiny house. It's not a trend, that's poverty. That's living in substandard conditions. Like, you as a human being deserve space. Like, you're putting yourself into a fucking factory farm, you know that? And then romanticizing it. It's just like, oh, it's cute. Dude, you can't walk in there. I lived in a place bigger than that for 3 months and it was torture. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have had at least 3 different people in my family live on disability for various reasons. Obesity, mental health, and bone disease. And I don't think that's common. Oh, that's a lot of damage. This next floor has greenies in it though. Green and Prusas. Green E's. It really bothers me when a single green one. Okay. Really bothers me when it's like, you can live in this new cool way. Don't spend any money. And just like, so many people's advice is just like, oh dude, just live in your parents' second house. Oh, my parents' second house. That's what I was doing wrong. Just get a job at the business your dad owns. It's like, oh, yeah. Small loan of $1 million. See, here's the thing, is that I know that he was being an asshole there, but I don't know in his mind how he thought he was... Like, I don't think he thought he was being perceived well. I don't know if he was thinking, I'm bragging about how much money my dad has, or I'm bragging about how little money that is to me now, or like, I don't know how he was thinking of it, other than, like, I just know that it was supposed to be a display of obscene wealth. Like, some people are like, he's out of touch. I'm like, I don't think he's out of touch. I think he knows he's being a piece of shit. It's just that I don't think he ever considers... I think he knows he's talking about how rich he is. That's what he talks about all the time. That is half of what he talks about. Like, most of what Donald Trump says is praise of himself. I really don't think he's under any illusion that that's normal. Oh, you know, have you seen Schitt's Creek? If not, I recommend it. It's one of those shows that ended before going for a really long time. That was this time. See, most enemies in this game aren't a threat to me at this point. Furies never stop being a threat. But I've gotten so used to fighting them, but I was still out of practice. So last time I did not take them as seriously as I should have. And I didn't kill the knight as quickly as I was hoping. I say last night, that was Friday. That was Friday, right? And it's Sunday now. There are too many days. Not in the week, just in life. Well, now it's Monday, yes. Did Graham have a good birthday? I tried not to bother him too much. He has Sonic Adventure 2. I saw him playing God of War on PC. I don't know if people still have birthday parties. Do people do that? Is that still unsafe? Graham a birthday party person? I don't either. Ah. That's like a thing they do, right? The Halloween parties. I know it probably hasn't been tradition for some time because of the problems, but that wasn't very good, but my defense. In my defense, I had to get over the thing, and I didn't think about how to get over the thing very well, because platforming in the middle of boss fights is usually not a thing in these games. Not in that way, anyway. So this boss is made for Dante, right? Dante's gun is like slower, is either stronger than Nero. Dante's guns are either stronger than Nero's, but slower, or faster but weaker. Nero's is pretty fast and strong once you get it charged up. Unless you're using, what's it called? Dr. Faust, which is supposed to be unbalanced because it costs red orbs. So you can kind of force this guy into different phases that you can't as Dante, and then stun him. At least not from a safe distance. See? So in 4, Nero was made to be easy to play. And in 5, he was still made to be relatively easy to play, but they wanted to make him more complex than he was in 4. They want his playstyle to evolve. And Dante's playstyle has been evolving since the first game, unless you want to count Devil May Cry 2 as a real video game. But he could technically dodge in that, had a dodge button in that game that was new, but like he had fewer, well, anyway, I don't need to complain about Devil May Cry 2 right now. They're all supposed to get more complicated over time, right? I want to see what new stuff he has in an upcoming game if that were to exist. I should spend less time playing Devil May Cry 5 talking about a potential Devil May Cry 6. And more thinking about the game I'm playing at the moment. Alright. Here we go. My chance to avenge myself. Not immediately. It's gonna be a little while, but... I wanna see Jamie Lee Curtis go on Game Grumps again, on Guest Grumps again, and play Street Fighter 6 when it comes out. No, you know what? No, I don't want that. I want Jamie Lee Curtis to start her own Let's Play channel. Very happy for Jack Black that he got to play Bowser. I'm so proud of him. Might as well milk it. That'll do it.
Guess who's getting their ass kicked?
I didn't mean to do that. I thought I hadn't turned it off. So I'm surprised he isn't breaking out of this. He has DT. I thought they could break out of it, break out of throws if they had DT. I would like to hear all of Jamie Lee Curtis' real video gamer opinions, because he plays WoW. He has a main in Street Fighter. Those are not games you can just kind of casually try. I mean, you can, but not to the degree, not to say, here's what I play in World of Warcraft. I doubt anyone in PR is like, you know who Jamie Lee Curtis needs to appeal to? The young gamer crowd. The lady in her... How old is she? 70? $63, okay. I'm bad with ages. You know, one time when I was like 6 or something, my grandpa asked me how old I thought he was, and I said 100. And he laughed, and he's like, not quite. I was like, how old are you? And he's like, 72. And I was like, that's close to 100. Thank God these things are here, because I took a lot of damage. And my bro... Yeah. Yeah, my brother was worse though, because when he was like 3 or something, he asked my mother if she had dinosaurs growing up. If she had a pet dinosaur. In his defense, he was 3 years old and he knew so very little about the world. However, my mother was like 26. So it would have been like 1997. And he's like, no, I didn't have. She's like, I'm not even 30. I didn't read it all, but I did see that Kurvitz is filing a lawsuit against Zome, and I'm like, good, take it away. Bleed them dry, get the money back, start your own studio again. Like, you cannot make a corporate Disco Elysium sequel. That's not possible. That's not how. That would be disingenuous. It's like when they made a major motion picture about the Lorax. It feels wrong.
Let's get airborne. Riding high.
Man, you remember when in like the late aughts there was like this because of Harry Potter, there was like this massive like attempt by Hollywood to turn literally every fantasy book that had any kind of following into a movie franchise because of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. And they were like, oh man, look, now every book would have like some teenage white person on it and be like from the major motion picture or whatever. I say that as though it stopped, because I'm pretty sure that the only reason I don't see it all the time is because I don't go in bookstores nearly as often anymore. I don't go in bookstores because A, I don't read as much as I used to. B, I don't know what I would get. I don't know. I'm not up on books. Like, I have no idea what. Like, I have been on video game internet. I'm terrified of book internet. I don't know why I would be. But. Also, some books are video games now. Yeah, it's... Also, like, they're trying to give a lot of, like, I think YouTube people getting books. Bad idea. Like, I don't think that's necessarily the case for all of them. Like, I don't think that it's a bad idea for Lindsay Ellis or Hank Green to write books. I think they're capable of that. I don't think every comedy YouTuber needs a book. It's like, I make skits. Yeah, you make things that are jokes for 3 minutes that are probably jokes that were made decades ago. Or they're just comments on current events. Oh, we have an intruder. Someone broke in. He's not on me just yet. Like, now he's demanding out. He just broke in and now he wants out. That is how cats are. And he's not going. Make a choice. He is standing in the doorway, staring at nothing. Okay, he's coming back in. He's nuzzling a cable. Are you gonna do something? Okay, back to full health. I don't know where he is now. Okay, he's left my room again. This cat. I do like how this bug looks so like the Queen and Pusa. Just looks like such a bug, you know? And not just like a spider or an ant. I hate to say it, but spiders and ants are like the most basic bugs. I do like Bug Demon. It's a good monster to have. It's not only a very traditional fantasy trope a la Tolkien, but guess what? It's just non-mammalian creature. Like... Okay, this is a really obscure question, but have you ever seen the cartoon or played the card game Chaotic? It was basically combine the 4 basic types of animal, the 4 basic classes of animal or whatever, but also assign them elements and geography things and make it Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon. Oh, okay. I liked it a little. I don't think I was allowed to watch it, so I watched it in my room. But there were like overworld species and underworld species. And it's like, oh yeah, they're the gross underworld species. like bugs, and then and demons, because those are totally the same thing. Bugs and demons. And then there's the overworld species, which are things like fish and lizards and mammals. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we usually treat animals. That was too early, but... Will this be enough to kill him? No, but that was. Okay. I have gotten revenge there, at least. Okay, that was much better. That was much better. Okay. I was worried that I would be terrible at these games for the rest of my life. You know, when you have a single bad experience one time, and then you think you're the worst person on earth? I like Bug Demon. Real bugs scary, I should say. I'm not good with real bugs. I am, like, I'm not as bad with, like, my brother is, he's real bad with bees and spiders. Though I haven't seen him around a bee in a long time, but spiders are a real bad one for him. Now, I am more about flying bugs, but bees have never been too bad for me. Specifically because I saw him being scared of a bee and I wanted to seem like I was better than him. When he was like 8. So I forced myself to be calm around a bee. And it became a habit. But then I was stung by a bee, by a group of bees or wasps, like 9 times. So I'm a little bit more scared of them now because I know it really, really hurts. Yeah, I stepped on a beehive by accident. And I stood there waving my hands around, and I was like, I thought you weren't supposed to move. What do I do? And then everybody just started shouting, run! Run! And then, yeah. And then I just ran down the street until it looked like there weren't as many around me. Then I went inside. People told me to just sit still, and they would get like ice and cream and stuff for me, like pain cream, not ice cream. But yes, just like an Animal Crossing. and then I sat down, and on TV was wrestling, and I was like, "Wow, this seems cool." And then I don't know. I don't remember what happened much after that. You want to hear a theory about a theory of mine about my family? So my dad, whenever he's around people that he kind of wants to, like, he doesn't feel like that he feels like he needs to, like, at least behave himself a little bit more around, and wrestling is brought up, he'll be like, it isn't even real. But he never says that when he's just around people that he just hangs out with. So I'm pretty sure that he at one point thought wrestling was real. Like, later than most. And then he found out it wasn't, in a way that embarrassed him. And then he stopped liking it. That's a theory. I don't know how you can see The Undertaker and think any of it's real. That said, I'm glad The Undertaker exists so much. And, like, they have discarded all other fantasy elements, but The Undertaker and Kane still get to be around sometimes. It's like, yeah, you know, this guy, he used to be in MMA, and this guy, he's, like, on YouTube and stuff. And this guy, he's a sorcerer. He's undead. And this guy, this is his half-brother, who's a demon. Their mother was a witch. And you're like, and people just, everybody goes along with it? Yeah. Why? Because it's cool. I love wrestling. I don't watch it. But just, like, understand, like, knowing anything from wrestling, just, you're like, yeah, that's awesome. But, like, nobody within, like, you are not allowed to quest if you are within the fiction of wrestling, performing within it. Unless you are given a pass, you aren't allowed to... Like, John Cena can wave to the camera, he's allowed. But unless you are given a pass of some kind, you cannot question the integrity, the fictional integrity of anybody else's story or background, right? So it's just like, yeah, you know, I'm a Hollywood guy, yeah. Me? Half demon. My mother had an affair with a demon, and yeah. And it's like, oh cool, I want to win an Emmy. And you have to treat it like it's normal. Oh, there's also Bray Wyatt, who is like from a cult. And he is like, his initial thing was from a cult. His whole thing is that he's kind of spooky. It's just sort of vibe. But, oh yeah. And then, he decided he wanted to retool his thing. And he then became, he was like, next time they saw him, he was just this big, fun, like, children's entertainer. And then he had some weird moments where he was just a little off. And then it turns out that he is like a possessed, like, he's like a serial killing spirit that is possessing this children's entertainer. I'm like, yeah, do it. And he puts on this big mask that has weird teeth and saggy pale skin that looks like he's half dead. And I'm like, yes, actual monsters. And he like does all this stuff, like acting like his, like he kind of does like the zombie twitches, you know, like the nerves aren't all functioning. And he will like grab the rope of the ring, lean backwards with its head hanging, and like shake. And I'm like, yeah, pretend like you're having a weird spasm, go into it. Possessed serial killer, let's go. Possessing someone who's from, it's basically like Blue's Clues or like Sesame Street like stuff, and it's, oh, like he's wearing a bright sweater and he's got his hair his hair is like usually pretty wild, and he's got a big beard, but then he's like, he just looks like, hey kids, how are you doing today? And it's like, oh no. Cobb he just gets to be the wild one, man. I should, and he was also fired by Vince McMahon, and after Vince McMahon quit, he was rehired. because they're like, no, we have to keep this dude around. Yes. They also fired one of the most popular black wrestlers and female wrestlers in the world. Oh, what's her name? What's her stage name? Oh, he's the one who's Snoop Dogg's cousin. I don't know why I keep thinking of her real name, which is Mercedes, but... Sasha, thank you. Sasha Banks, thank you. Yeah, fired her as well. Impressive. I have nothing in my brain anymore. Are you doing it, buddy? Because we can do it. Nope. I'm messing it up. Oh, that's real bad. I don't know how to tell you this, but I have actually never really watched wrestling. I mean, I tried to watch one thing once, and then I was like, that seems cool, but it seems like it's a lot to pay attention to. So, one VTuber said that her mother, she has had to explain it to her mother, and her mother tries to be normal about it, but he was watching Housewives of like Beverly Hills or something, and she was like, this is my HoloLive, and she was like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, I have still barely got it. Just barely. I made it. I got real low at one point. I got so low on health. You really can't get low on health around Virgil because he gives you no breaks.
With power.
Like, mother, what do you mean that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is your VTuber? What is that doesn't, what does that mean? Okay, so they're not in Utah. Oh my. Oh. He is back. He is staring. Come on. You can hop up or not. Kitty cat. Oh, there he is. I'm attempting to get the engine to start. It can be a little bit slow to start sometimes. There we go. He's such a good boy. He is... Yeah, it, like... Hold on. I'm gonna do a totally normal thing where I, open a thing of wipes to clean off my hands because Kitty Cat is covered in dander and grime because he rolls around in dirt. He doesn't go outside. He's an indoor cat, but he rolls around in dirt. He finds it. The dog brings in dirt and then he finds it and rolls around in it. It's weird when you don't feel where you have like co-fans of something and then you're like, oh, then they say one thing and then you're like, no, you don't get it, actually. You like it's like, no, you don't appreciate this thing the same way that I do, and like it's changed the way I see you. When people are like, oh, like I've said it before, like the different viewpoints on 5, some people being like, oh man, it's stupid that it's about Nero, get out. Then don't play it. Also, this game, like, Nero's the main character, yes, but Dante and Virgil get so much attention in this game. They get so much cool shit. Then, it's like, oh, it should be like the old ones. It's very much like the old ones. Yeah. Yeah. When you act like it's not something that anybody should like genuinely. Yeah. It's pretty shitty. But like, Devil May Cry is stupid. But I like it because it's stupid. I'm not like, let's laugh at this thing. I am having a good time. Yeah. Alright, I will embarrass myself on stream for your entertainment. I know I don't know if it's weird of me to put things into those terms, but like I try so often not to engage with other people. Yeah. So like even though I spend a lot of time being a nerd, my involvement with other fans is just not really a thing that I do. I am an extremely ingoing person. Yeah. Hi. Hello, kitty cat. This is like Devil May Cry, joining the Devil May Cry 5 disc, the Devil May Cry /R, oh god, my nose is going wild. Discord is like, hey, Virgil, as close as I got to actively participating in a fan thing, which is pretty active participating, I guess, but like, that's about it. Like, I try not to discuss the things I like with other people too much, because I'm defensive about them.
I had a
But,
feeling you'd say that.
like,
I won't lose the likes of you.
but I was so excited, and I wanted people to be excited about the thing with, and I wanted to have people who wanted to hear my theories and me go on about weird things, and just to be able to talk about a thing I like and not have to explain what the thing I like is. Just be like, what do you think the odds are that Dante's going to die? Like, stuff like that. People totally thought Dante was going to die. There was a lot of cinematic language subtext in some of the trailers that implied that Dante was going to die. Like, a lot of shots of him, like, with his eyes closed or laying down, or like Nero being the one standing instead. And there was like, and also this was still at the point where Nero did not know who his dad was, nor that Dante killed him. And we did not know how Nero was going to react to that. And we also weren't certain how normally he was going to be when he came back. Because the thing was that the rumors were that the Demon King was coming back, not Virgil. So people thought maybe Mundus was coming back and Virgil was going to be coming back as a resurrected enslaved corpse.
Come on.
Oh boy. I don't know why I picked DMD. See? Embarrassing. Now we partake in the tradition of taking a gold orb when you see that you are beyond your depth. Indeed. That was the wrong move. I didn't switch to Trickster fast enough.
My turn now.
So, did you know that when he does that, if you do Nero's, what do you call it? Not maximum bet. Not all in. What's it called? Oh, not judgment. God, why is my brain worse? I'll think of it in time. Or I'll have the chance to switch to him and actually look. Anyway, his katana move. That can be used to interrupt Virgil's judgment cut, and with it you can deal out damage him, but it'll still cost a lot of DP, and it's a dangerous thing to pull off, and you have to time it perfectly. I'm very upset that I can't remember it. Maximum bat Showdown, that's what it's called. What's it like? I'm 62 years old. Like, yeah. It's been said many times that our generation is like in a bad place, and I'm like, I believe you. And I mean things that are like actual scientists and not just older people grumbling about us. Could have been better. Could have been worse.
Kyrie, when I was a kid, I was alone. You and Kratos were all I knew. And now all of a sudden I find out I have a family. What am I supposed to do with that?
You always know which path is right and which is wrong. There's no need to doubt yourself.
Thanks. I guess that's all I needed to hear. I have one last thing to take care of. And then I'm coming home. I couldn't protect Kratos. To this day, I hate myself for not having enough strength. But this time is different. I swear! I'm not letting you die! this is curious.
Nero.
Okay, so allegedly. I say allegedly. Anyway.
What is this?
Helena Taylor has made it a thread.
This ends. Right here.
Good news, it's not over, it's never over, it's always gonna be like this. Anyway, she said that the initial offer was 10K and then the next one was 15K. And I'm like, but you said 4K.
You listen. Dead weight.
In those videos that you posted, the ones that had hundreds of thousands of likes and millions of views, you said 4.
I'm putting a stop to this sibling rivalry.
And then she
She
said that she was
Virgil. V.
she said she did not ask for 250,000,
not gonna die here.
but I don't know if I never heard 250,000. I heard 6 figures and residuals, but
my ass. Oh, that bitch slap nearly killed me.
but
If I beat Nero, then by default,
it's not doing well for her case, I feel, but like she does deserve to be paid for what she does, but like just feels a little bit off.
When this is over,
Yeah.
I'll make you submit.
Like, if you're pleading towards people's better natures, then you cannot be dishonest in any way. Otherwise, like, what's at stake is ethics. And it feels, as soon as you misrepresent anything, you lose all faith, like, in something as thin as that. I mean, like, it's something where the actions are deprive yourself of something you might enjoy. Anyway, the whole thing is like, it just feels tainted. And she very specifically, like, name dropped other people, and then people, like, went and mobbed Camilla because they were angry. Yeah. Yeah. Because she's created a stink, and she, like, when you name drop someone and say that they offered you $4,000 total for, and compare it to the 450 million sales figure, makes it seem like you want that you are naming a problem and then naming someone who caused that problem. And on the internet, people see that as not necessarily an instruction, but they will take action. I don't want to say it is like a way to stoke people's anger and who to direct and where it can be directed. Like, it does not feel like she can call herself innocent of that. Like, did she say go harass Camilla? No, but she did say I asked him and appealed to him, and then he didn't really help me as much as I hoped. And then she said the offer was $4,000. She didn't say what the original offer was before, but then she's like, yeah, it was $10,000. Like, that's still more than what you said the better offer was.
You cut off your own son's arm for more power.
And she said that for Bayonetta 1 she was paid £3,000. I don't know what that translates to, but...
We need to do something before it's too late.
Oh boy. And,
We need to close that portal. Hey, you lost, so you better do what he says.
I can still fight.
okay, so also someone's pointing out that she did initially deny what Bloomberg said, and now she is admitting to it.
Better hurry up. We still got a score to settle.
Evidently.
And
Wait, where are you going? We need to
sever the clan fibers from the
underworld itself. Then we'll seal the portal with the Yamato. Hang on. If you do that, you can't come back.
Why do you think I'm going?
And the support is...
No, man.
You can't just expect me to stay here while you both go.
It's because you're here we can go. We're trusting you with things
like...
Capiche?
Make haste, Dante.
Yeah. I know.
Oh hey, here's a person named Tanya Redgrave who seems to love Bayonetta and Devil May Cry and Yakuza. Their name is Tanya Redgrave and their profile picture is Kiryu.
Adios.
I'm just saying, this person, you might like them. I don't know.
I won't lose.
But the support is not anywhere near as strong now. It's all like, and this, like, her plea is based entirely on, in a situation like this, it's based on faith and trust, and you cannot, like, if you taint that, you're done for. And yeah, because like $15,000 sounds like a lot of money to most people. 10,000 sounds like a lot of money to most people. 4,000 doesn't. And she's like, she didn't say what she was initially offered, and then she said the bigger offer was 4,000 to make you think that maybe the initial offer was 2,000 or something, or 3,000. Like,
look, I don't know, it just grew.
But
I mean, are you kidding me? Lots
yeah,
of weird
it's
stuff
like,
there were demons and scary.
honestly, I don't know how much Charles Martinez paid to voice half of the Mario cast, but I can't imagine it's much either. But
this arm?
I'm saying they do deserve to be paid more, but like, you can't mobilize people to fight for you or act for you if you, and as soon as they lose faith in you, that you can't, your movement is done.
It doesn't matter. They're both gone now anyway.
It's okay to cry. If you want, Nero, over a loss.
Not cry.
It doesn't make you a crybaby. It does make you a little bitch, though.
There it is. You think I'm a demon?
I didn't cry when my asshole daddy died. But... yeah, I know. I wouldn't be here without him, that's a biological fact.
And you know, when you go and look in the responses to see if people, like, what can help me understand people is just, I'm just like, or like, judge them just because I'm a bad person. is like, I try to see how reasonable the angry people seem in the quote tweets and the replies.
Hey, PDA.
And everybody seems to just be saying,
I'm coming home.
yeah. Everybody just seems to be saying, like, I don't know if I even saw anybody swear. Nobody's being like,
No, PDA.
all,
Nico.
nobody's particularly seeming like they're responding like with hate or bigotry. They're just being like, bro, you lie. Or and saying like, you lied by omission and you manipulate, like, this is manipulative. And now you're having to go on record because I don't know if he was expecting there to be records that would be reported on by a major publication
Look, you're gonna use it, and it's a work of art.
and a respected journalist.
Well, how sweet.
She did cause a stink, but then it, which was her goal, but
Feels good.
then it didn't go the way she was hoping.
You'll get fixed as soon as we get back.
Ooh, boy.
So, Devil's Cry, huh? Let's hear what that sounds like!
God, I would like it if everything was easier, but
Come on!
that said, even though I did win this time in Bloody Palace, I still kind of, I did mess up a lot. I would like to practice a bit more if possible. Yeah, I know. It's just, like, I always want to be perfect, right? And that's the thing, is that nobody can live up to perfection. But you still want to at least aspire to it, which isn't healthy, I know. But also, I came up with a character that I think should be in the next, should be the major guest in the next Tekken game. Yeah. I want it to be Barbie. I want Barbie to be in Tekken 8. I think that'd be really fun. I think that'd be silly. And just go all in with it and have her talk like Barbie. I killed him, but too late. Oh, I did it! That's maybe the second time I've ever done that on DMD. Okay, I'm a little bit happier with myself. But, like, just think about it. She's big,
Guess that's the end.
she's tall, and you can say that Barbie can use whatever fighting style you make up for her.
So all we gotta do is
Or
put this
real
thing down.
fighting style, because she's Barbie. You can give her so many
More than
costumes.
capable of handling this on my own.
And you can say
You're gonna need some
that,
help.
and you can give her a bunch of stances to give her a massive moveset, and she needs to be overpowered. But she always acts like Barbie. She always is like, wow, isn't this a sticky situation or some dumb garbage, you know?
They must be ready to die.
She is a silly character, but is an actual threat. So, there's a character in Tekken 7 that people hate named Lucky Chloe. Her thing is that she's an idol who wears cat ears and has big fluffy paws, and very short shorts and dances and kicks and punches. Yeah. People don't like her. Because A, she's very annoying to fight because she's really fast. And she has a lot of kicks that are difficult to deal with. Like, it's hard to actually walk up to her because of the way she moves. But she's always dancing and spinning and kicking. And because girl pink. God forbid women do anything. Exactly. That said, I don't think it's particularly a problem for Tekken because all of the characters are weird. Like there's a panda bear. Like, one of the characters is a bear. One of the characters is, let's see. Trying to think. Negan from The Walking Dead. Oh, who's another good, random example? There are cyborgs. There are robots. I think there might be an alien. Demons. Oh, hi. An old man who does Wing Chun. An assassin who was made to be, bioengineered assassin. They're, like, even the normal characters can have weird backstories. Like, there's a guy named Steve Fox. He's a boxer. Yeah, from the United Kingdom. And you're like, okay, that seems like an extremely standard character. And it's like he was made in a lab using the ovum of Nina Williams, an existing character who's like a super spy, to make a bio soldier. And then he escaped as a child, and then he has a weird relationship with Nina because he knows she's his mother, but she doesn't really consider him to be her son because it was taken without her egg was taken without her consent. And then you're like, and that's just the dude who boxes? And it's like, yep. Oh yeah, there's also not a cyborg, an android girl who's also very pink and she has chainsaw arms, and she can use her head like she's picking up a brick to smash someone with. There's the there are a lot of, there's Bob, and Bob's thing is that he fights, yeah, people like Bob. At the end of Tekken 6, they're like, Bob got skinny, and people are like, don't you dare make Bob skinny. And they made Bob fat again in 7, and it's like, goddamn right, he's fat. Ben Stiller was trending, and I wondered why. It's like, what did he do? The answer is he's just making a TV show, and someone posted a picture with him in it. That's all. Like, not that he's making a TV show, like he worked on a TV show already, and people said it was good. That's it. Sometimes Twitter things trend for no reason, and they aren't worth looking at. And then they'll be like, Ukraine is still subject to war and war crimes. And I'm like, is there nothing in between? like important things that are not like dread inspiring. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind not hearing everything that's happening in Kim Kardashian's life. But, like, dude, please. Just, like, but they still tell me when sports things happen because I follow a few people who like sports. I don't like sports. I do not care who won the soccer game. I don't know what the teams are, and they call them clubs, and that's weird to me. It's like the football club, and I'm like a club? How the hell is it a club? Like, you don't get paid to be in a club. It doesn't make sense to me. Nope, that's not where I wanted to go. They're like, sports, you love them, don't you? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, the United FC, and I'm like, the fighting people? Like mixed martial arts? And they're like, no, that's UFC, the United FC. And I'm like, gotta say real words. Anyway, I don't know what the hell to do right now. I've had a weird headache for a while. I don't think my head should hurt. I can play Virgil for a bit. Oh, I think I know what I can do. Hold on, let me check. I need to... Nope. There it is. There they are. Virgil may ease the pain. Okay, I didn't do that. I didn't do those. Okay. I will play as Virgil for a bit. And then I will do something else as V. Oh god, I haven't touched Dante Must Die as Virgil at all. I'll have to do the whole thing as him. I won't do that right now. That'll take way too long. God, I love seeing any of the Sparta bloodline in any normal part of the world because they just look like such video game characters.
What is it? Hungry? Well, you're in luck, pal, because food's ready. Kitty always makes too much. Hope you like loud talkers too, because got a pair of those upstairs. You see something you like? You a demon?
Nero, the food's getting cold!
Idiot! Get back inside now!
He grabs it like he's a hungry dog. Like the... I'm running out of time.
I'm running out of time.
Wait!
It's really time.
I love they're like, oh yeah, Virgil, he's so weak, he's barely not dead. He can still rip Nero's arm off and kill demons with 2 strokes. Cause he's hobbling, using his sword like a cane. And then 2 demons come before him and he does the anime dash. Okay, so this is the house that Dante and Virgil were raised in, right? I don't mind that. But in DMC Devil May Cry, when it's like, yeah, the house we were raised in, called Paradise, that was basically a fucking mansion. That's where our father and mother chose to hide us. The illegal children that had to pretend not to exist. And I'm like, and they lived in a mansion? Not like a basement apartment? Nobody will find us in our mansion. Like, it's a huge place. But, like, Sparta isn't worried. And then he died. That's the problem. And then in, like, DMC Devil May Cry, it's like, oh yeah, both Ava and Sparta were alive. And they just lost to Mundus. And I'm like, man, they're kind of fucking lame. It's like, yeah, they were both in a war. And it's like, well, they didn't do a very good job. That's also the thing, is that neither of the parents are interesting at all, because the story, the only character that this story feels the need to, like, raise up in DMC Devil May Cry is Dante, so it makes him look cringy. It makes him look like a Mary Sue, you know? Because he's the only one that the game says is cool. Everybody else is gross or ugly or evil. Except for the women that are hot. Or his mother who was nice. And it's like, nobody else gets to be strong. And if they are strong, it's only so he can beat them. And it's so hollow. Like, in Trish's introduction in Devil May Cry 1, she rides a motorcycle through a door. Like, her introduction is like, while wearing sunglasses, and then Dante doesn't even stand up. That's how you see, oh yeah, both these people are sick. They're both awesome. Like, both her and Lady, motorcycles. Because motorcycles are cool. I showed you her intro in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, right? Where she fights Dr. Doom. It's so goddamn cool. Where she rides it on the motorcycle, twirls up, like it's like, oh no, it's spun out. Then she twirls on it, stands, twirls her guns, pulls them out, and just as she's pointing them, lightning strikes her sunglasses and takes them off. And it's like, and then she's just like smirking, and I'm like, who is she? And I'm like, and it's like, oh, it's Trish from Devil May Cry. I'm like, I've never played those games before, but they seem cool. And even before I ever played Devil May Cry, and after I played like the first team of characters that I knew, I was like, I need to pick other characters and try them out. Dante was on that team because I'm like, he's cool. Never played Devil May Cry before, but I've been told I would like it. Everybody, the people who told me I would like it, they were right. God, like, and then I hate the way Kat is treated so much. Like, she does as the game goes on, she does less and less. She goes from like, oh yeah, I'm brave enough to talk to you, or to approach you and try to help you, to hiding behind a trash can. And like, and from throwing a Molotov at a demon to just like, giving you, telling you the layout of the map. Like, people talk about how cool Devil May Cry makes Dante look, but they also make him look kind of lame, but by his weird habits. And his sad life. But every time, like, it feels like everything in DMC Devil May Cry just wants to make him cooler or more sympathetic. Like, it just feels like everything is for him, and you can see right through it. Like, other characters exist for him. Like, that's how stories work. But then the story doesn't treat them like they're their own people in their own right in any way. Also, like, Virgil saying, like, I loved you, brother. You literally only saw him again, like, yesterday. And then you hadn't seen him since you were, like, 7. Some problem with a lot of stories is that they give you no scale for time at all. So you can only assume, and characters don't change clothes in video games or animation a lot of the time, so you have no scale of time other than, I guess this has all happened today because they have given us no time frame whatsoever. Like, One Piece can be kind of like that, but, like, characters change clothes and travel, so you know that some time has to have passed. Like, if all of One Piece took place in a day, you'd be like, that there's literally not enough time in a day for all this stuff to have happened. Like, people... Like, they give you no real anything. Like, the events of Devil May Cry 1 happen in a day. He goes to an island, and then he fights monsters, and then he leaves the island. He doesn't, like, plot out terrorist attacks. He goes to a place, fights monsters, like, okay. Then, let's see. Devil May Cry 1 goes to an island, fights monsters, goes to hell, comes back later. Devil May Cry 3, that's all one day. Tower appears, just with demons in it, kills the demons in the tower, goes home. Mourns his brother for the rest of his life until he sees him again. Then he thinks he's dead again. Then it turns out he's fine. He's destroyed a city though, again. Then his nephew is like, could you guys grow the hell up, please? I messed up. But this game takes place over about 5 weeks? On 2 days within 5 weeks of each other, right? And 4 takes place in about a day, and the flashback happened like a few weeks before, presumably, right? And then, or maybe even a couple days before. Then, like, DMC Devil May Cry, no indication of time. And like, the thing is, like, Lady and it's like, oh, Lady and Dante met each other that day. Yeah, they did meet each other that day, but they also had family members that they've known their entire lives, and then they had really intense experiences with each other, like fights to the death, against or alongside each other, and moments of connection and clashing and understanding. And Dante's like, I guess we're brothers, and Virgil's like, yeah, we're brothers. Well, Dante's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm your brother. And he's like, no shit, no way, bullshit. And then he's like, huh, guess we're brothers? Yeah. You want to go kill the guy who killed our mom and imprisoned our dad? Yeah, okay. I loved you, brother. Like, they don't really have any moments together. It's all just, like, fucking plot dish. Like, just exposition. Like, I would call it, like, it's, like, exposition is a story thing, but, like, it doesn't really feel like exposition. It feels like a plot dump. Info dump, fine. That's plot dump, dull, bad. You're trying to... And it's like, oh, what about with Trish? He just met her. It's like, yeah, but he felt really weird about her because she looked like his mom. And then he was the first person that she knew that was not like another demon, like either manufactured by her or the same person who manufactured her or whatever. Like, he was the first human connection she had. He lived with purpose. He had principles. It's like, oh, they're brothers. It was like, we saw them play together in a vague, like, transparent flashback or like single image. Like, you did not earn this impact, this reaction is not earned. Yeah, I have a much harder time doing that with Virgil. Like, Nero and Virgil have a pretty intense relationship because it starts with Virgil ripping off his arm. And then which is like the source of a lot of his power. And he's come to rely on it and accept it as part of him. And then it's like, boom, ripped off. Fuck you, kid, for having my sword. And then he finds out that it was his dad. That's gonna cause feeling by a guy who had never really told him who he was entirely. I was like, yeah, I'm your uncle, by the way, sorry. That guy's your dad. I'm gonna go kill him. That's a lot to happen in a day, in 5 weeks even. Imagine you spend 5 weeks getting ready to get revenge on someone and it's like, yeah, he's your dad, by the way, sorry. I'm your uncle. I'm gonna go kill him. Sorry. I know you want to, but like, I want you to have a better life than I did. So, I want you to hold back. Hang back, get out of here. And then I'll take care of it. like, I'm trying to think of any conversation that, like, the only, they have banter, and the banter is mostly jokes. Like, it's, like, jokes for the audience, not amongst each other. Like, oh, you don't know about the part that happens near the end where Virgil talks about his genitals, do you? It's bad, and I don't like to think about it. Well, there's this part where Dante and Virgil start to get a little bit competitive with each other. And Virgil's like, I'm smarter, and Dante says, I'm better looking. And then Virgil's like, anyway, back to the task at hand, and then blah, 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 blah. And then they start walking away, and Virgil says, and I have a bigger dick. And I'm like, how do you know that? Also, in the original, he said that while still wearing the fedora. And then, how do you know that? B, you're identical twins. Like, the removal of the fedora makes the game far more tolerable, but it's like, it's part of the experience. I played that game in on the original, on disc, in its original state. Like, there were patches, but like, the fedora was there the whole time, and got the PS4 version. I'm like, where's the fedora? And then it's only in the credits. They removed it from the whole actual gameplay part, all of it, because people made fun of it so much. I would have. What am I saying? I would have. I'm doing it like right now. But I don't know what other way to say it other than I don't think the people working on that game had a lot of self-awareness, or at least the director. The director had one of those, like, you know, like the stereotypical emo haircut things where it's like the really heavy hair over one eye. He had a haircut like that. And he's like in his 30s. And he also called women, he called Lady and Trish prostitutes. Like, I think he was kind of an incel. Like, it's not a nice thing to say, but like, he's given me too many reasons to believe it. I heard about him calling them prostitutes with guns, and I was like, oh, okay, trying to learn why people disliked him so much and the game so much. And I'm like, then I went and played the game, so I'm like, they don't even like hold hands with anybody. They're like flirtatious at best. And Lady really, like, they really aren't that flirtatious with him until maybe 4. And honestly, the flirtations in 4 are more like, look at how 3D physics can be now. Bounce. Then, like, yeah. The women, and then, oh, God. living in a David Cage game. Well, I would. So have I? Are you aware that in his the what is it, PS2 Xbox game that he made, like there's a black guy in it who's playable, who just kind of he's the one who has the funk music and stuff, and lives with this girlfriend and calls her baby all the time, and in like a real weird way, and then he just like stops mattering for like 40% of the game, maybe 60. Like he just kind of disappears. He just is no longer important. He's like starts off as one of the 3 main characters, and he just stops. Also, David Cage has like horrible writing tendencies. Aside from that, where like, as it was pointed out, like in any game he makes, it seems like at a certain point in the 3rd act, he has gotten bored with the story he's already writing, and then he adds in weird shit. Now, the games where I believe it's been said that he has been reined in the most are Heavy Rain and Detroit. Those games don't really have quite as big a thing, but like in the PS2 one, which is I can't remember. So it had multiple names, so I can't always keep it straight. But it's like Fahrenheit something in one country, and then in one territory, and then it's like Indigo Prophecy or something everywhere, another place or whatever. But like after a certain point in that game, it's just like aliens, and they're like prophets and homeless prophets and whatever or something. And I'm like, I thought this was a story. This was a murder mystery, and it's like, yeah, but there are aliens now. And then what's it called? Oh, what's the one called? The one on the Dreamcast. David Cage game on the Dreamcast. It's a really stupid name. It's the name of the city. Oh, I don't want to think about it. No, I'm not trying to do that. I gotta know. David Cage Dreamcast game. Come on, that's not it. Omicron. Omicron the Nomad Soul. That's what it's called. Omicron. That one also, like... Okay, so first of all, that game is like 4 different genres. A lot of the time it's like wandering third-person adventure in an open world, which is in itself a massive undertaking. And how do I say this? Most games of that kind were not good for a very long time. Like, Grand Theft Auto is the first really big good one. But it's basically like everybody saw Ocarina of Time and wanted to one-up it, and then they did a bad job. But it was also had like 2D fighting game segments. Now, those two things are things that Shenmue had. But Shenmue was made by like the developers of Virtua Fighter, so the fighting game parts were pretty good. Quantic Dream does not make fighting games, but they inserted 2D fighting game segments, and then there were like puzzle solving parts, and then there were first-person shooter segments. These 4 genres do not gel together well at all, and then at the end it's just like a big like Doom segment. And it's again shooting a giant alien that's like I can't even remember what it is. I think it was like trying to tear apart our world, the real world, and get into the real world. Or something stupid like that. Then can't remember if it was aliens, but there was something really big and weird at the end of the game with Elliot Page. And then yeah, he just like he just throws in the weirdest shit at the end. And then Detroit, it's like at the end, it's like race war, which, while not off of the topic of the game, it is so like unsubtle, like so obvious. What will the social issue game end with? Race war and the Holocaust. It's like, well, that is quite the ending. Anyway, my point is that he's generally unfocused as a storyteller. DMC Devil May Cry, yes, we're back to that. They just kind of talk about how angels mattered, and then they're not a presence in the game at all. He's so... I don't think there are stories he's good equipped to tell at all. The man's an idiot. And I am, like... I don't think he talked about racism because he cares about racism, because he has had a lot of racist shit in his games. I think he talked about racism because he likes movies that have talked about racism. I think that's... And he knows that movies that talk about racism have won awards. Also, in his game about racism, 2 of the 3 playable characters are white. He likes the idea of talking about racism. He likes the idea of progressivism, of being perceived as progressive. Like, someone who talks like he does... The way it's people like, yeah, no, he was super homophobic and he hates women, and it's like, he's like, how dare you? I've worked with Elliot Page. It's not what he said at the time, because it was not a public thing yet. But like, trying not to do bad. But it's like, bro, you can't use them as a shield. You like, that is like. He loves the aesthetic and the treatment that people... Like, he wants the praise, you know? But, like... So, and he's like, how dare you? I've worked with a gay person. It's like... I don't think that was why they signed on. I really don't. You do not get to call on past people you've worked with to be like, that have agreed to work with you, to be like, yeah, this person is a sign of my ethical goodness. It's like, well, they're also famous and would make your game a lot of money. So I don't know why you're trying to make it a point that they're a sign that you are an, like, undoubtedly good person. It's incredibly scummy to call them, to use them as a prop like that. Anyway. I'm trying to think about what my point was. One of my points about DMC Devil May Cry was about, it's just like, yeah, the women, they have, like, they have guns and they're whores, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Trish's dress, the way she dresses in 1, a little bit provocative, but like, I wouldn't go out of my way to like comment on it as overly so. And Lady dresses like relatively tamely. She's more supposed to be cool than anything else. She's supposed to look tough and capable, but young. Like, and then like she's wearing a skirt made of bullet magazines. Or like dude. And then Lucia doesn't particularly dress like she's wearing tight pants and like what do you call it? Midriff bearing top and like a sort of cape thingy. Prostitutes don't dress like that. And then Kyrie. I don't think you could ever call the way she dresses like provocative. Like tight. Yeah, her clothes are form-fitting, yes, but like she's dressed like a nun. Then Lady and Trish and 4, yeah, they're dressed more provocatively, but like they also spend their time killing demons, and it's like they're not really much of a presence in that story because it's more about Nero than them. But like, why? Also, then someone said that the way that Cat dresses is closer to how prostitutes in his area dress, which is short shorts and a hoodie. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know, but like, like his area being, yeah, like. It's just like, dude, what are you talking about? Lady is like she's the hero of her own story. Trish is like has a whole arc and she's like the sidekick badass partner. There we go. Call it Kyrie doesn't use a gun. And calling her a prostitute is just incorrect. Blatantly. Lucia doesn't have enough of a presence to be insulted. My insult to Lucia would be that your game is shit, but how do I put it? Like, Devil May Cry 2 is a worse game than DMC Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry 2 is far less fun than DMC Devil May Cry is. But DMC Devil May Cry is, at some points, offensive and upsetting. And I'm not sure what you want to... it depends on the person, what they consider to be worse as a person in a piece of media. That it is that it can be offensive and upsetting, or that it's like unbelievably dull. Yeah, it's less of a game. But like expectations for DMC Devil May Cry were high. Like the bar was higher. Like the bar had been raised. Like it had more of a reason to be good. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, it doesn't have as much of an excuse. Mm-hmm. Alright, now I want to do mission 4. No, mission 5. Just making sure it is mission 5. It's mission 5 with V. Like,
Now to find the next.
they're like, the final boss doesn't have a boss theme. Most of the bosses are the same, and the final boss is the one that's different. But he's the same. He's different by being the same as Virgil from 3, who is similar to Virgil from 1, but had been changed significantly. And then Kratos and Dante both were also like Virgil he was before, but their movesets were completely different. And it's just like, yeah, he's just like Virgil before, but he has 2 new moves, and it's like, okay, here's the thing. If you're cashing in on nostalgia, while also insulting the games that came before, and saying that they're unnecessary and all that shit. Anyway, like, DMC Devil May Cry is aggravating. Devil May Cry 2 is, like, soul-sucking. Yeah.
Can't move forward without breaking through these. Slice them. Nice.
Have I brought to mind another work? Please do share. Like there's that one shot. Like in the first mission, they both of DMC Devil May Cry. I'll get my thoughts out while you're hyping yours out. But Dante both like gets the DMC3 wig on. Oh, okay, yeah. Gets the DMC3 wig on, and then like says, yeah, that's stupid, and it sucks. Never. And then later he does the pose that Dante does on the cover of Devil May Cry 3, and I'm like, this is like a shout out. What do you want us to think? Like, yeah. It is, and a lot of the writing is very much like like one of the worst Marvel movies, you know? Like, Phineas is in the game, is a character in the game, I believe. I think that's his name. He's the magical Negro trope. He's the blonde, and he's also not only the magical Negro, but he's also the inspiring blind person, like disabled person to a degree. Like, he's blind. And he's like insightful and shit. Like and it's like, and he has a cane. So like, dude, you. Like, he literally only appears to like give Dante advice and say that he used to know his dad, and that he gives him background lore and tries to make him think. then he never appears again. Like he is there entirely for Dante. Like, does he have hobbies? What's his favorite food? Like, we don't know anything about him other than that he's a demon. Also, let's see. Like, we know about Lady that she's trying to avenge her mother. We know about what her goals are. We know that she's angry and violent and young. And, like, she could be living a much more innocent life, but Arkham ruined that for her. We know that Trish wasn't really given much of an opportunity to live and be her own person at all. And then later she does. By eating pizza and having fun killing demons. Hanging out, posing provocatively on Dante's desk. Honestly, even though people like point to it as like a sign of the male gaze, I do think hanging out and being hot is kind of a hobby. Is it not? Just is it not something that we all aspire to? Simply sit around and be very attractive.
There must be an escape route.
Like, I'll say that, like, I will say I have seen like fan art of every other Devil May Cry girl except Kat on Twitter. Lucia does have fans. Kyrie has fans. Trish has quite a few fans. Lady has oceans of fans. I don't know any fans of Kat. And in that server, I was in the Devil May Cry server. I was like, who do you guys? Oh, and Nico. Nico also has a lot of fans. But I was like, who do you guys prefer? I was like, does anybody like Kat? And then they were like, no. And nobody said anything. Like in the Devil May Cry fan server, there was nobody to talk about one, it's like, does anybody like this character? In a fan server, generally, there's somebody who likes every character. It's literally the point. Also, like, her design is the plainest. Like, it's shorts and a hoodie. I've seen loads of people dressed like that. She has, like, makeup on her, like a thing on her forehead. Like a... Yeah, like, I don't even know what, remember properly what it was. Like, like, the first time Dante meets Trish, he rides in on a motorcycle. First time he meets Lady, he breaks through a wall on the motorcycle, fires a rocket that nearly hits him. That first time Dante meets Cat, he knocks on his door and he's naked. I don't know what that really accomplished. I think it's supposed to be funny. But, like, he didn't put pants on. Why didn't he put... Like, I know it's so that he can put pants on later, but, like, they could have done that with his shoes and with his boots and his shirt still. He could have at least had underwear on. Like, he could have had the underwear with the... what do you call it? With the hearts. Because it's silly. Yeah. But like, it also makes me think like, throughout that whole game, Dante's not wearing underpants. Because he does not put them on. Yeah, like, I really think the whole point of that was so that, like, he could have, what's her name? Cat look at him naked. Like, so that could happen. That's why it happened. I'm pretty sure. It's just like, haha. Get close to girl naked. Until today, that is. I don't know about you, but I hate not wearing underwear. It's horrible. Especially with jeans. That's a zipper you're going up against. Jumping and running around. Also, he's wearing the same clothes he wore the day before. And he never showers the whole game.
I'm fine. I must chase him.
Like, he looks like he smells bad. I keep saying it because it keeps being true. God, I just... I don't know what to say about, like... all the story stuff in that game just makes me mad. Because there's so much wasted potential. If you're gonna, like, make a new Devil May Cry game. With... like, they initially had carte blanche. And they were told to make it as different from the original as they could. And then they were like... And they kept saying, make it more different, make it more and more different. And then they showed it to people at E3. And then they were like, make it less different. People do not like this. You know what? I'll try to be balanced and fair. I'll try to think of things to complain about Devil May Cry 5. I wish there was a mission restart button when you beat a level. Christian Lady could have done more. I think V's gameplay is kind of lacking. I think the way that some of the points are balanced in some of the missions is a little bullshit, because basically in V's missions you get more points, and in some of Dante's and one of Nero's you get less. And that feels like a pretty artificial way to make the game harder, by simply grading you on a different scale on those missions particularly. A couple translations are a bit off. I was hoping that when they announced there would be a DLC and special edition, it would have more stuff. That's most of what I can think of. Now, I think you come to know me at this point enough to know that I am a complainer. I grumble and groan and can become cantankerous, dare I say. As a pretty negative person. Yeah, I can't think of much to say about this game that it's bad. It's really good. I wish it had more save. I wish it had multiple save files, so I didn't have to like spoil the game for people.
You shall die. Now I'm a little motivated.
That was weird. I would like them to make a dedicated non-canon multiplayer Devil May Cry game, where you can just have all the characters playable and interact and stuff. Just like a goofy side game. I have lost. I should clarify, I do still want it to be like Devil May Cry in gameplay. I just want it to be multiplayer and non-canon with lower pressure and expectations. This isn't the mission I wanted to play, but whatever. I was thinking of 20, because I wanted to hear "Bury the light deep within." Anyway. Someday I might sing one. I haven't put any effort into practicing that though, so. Thank you. That is not what I wanted to do. You know, here's the thing, is that Parker's been getting really into Bleach, and I would Forgot he could just teleport right at me like that.
We both spring from the same juice.
This might finish him. Right in the balls. Wow, Virgil, your song sure is radical.
I won't lose next time. Hold on to that until then.
Wow, this thing got real big. You trying to compensate for something?
Yes. Your incompetence.
By the way, how'd it feel catching up with your kid?
There's no need for us to catch up.
Well, with an attitude like that, you're never gonna meet your grandkids.
That's enough. I don't want to hear it. Now, don't get in my way.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I love them.
That's it. Time to die!
You're like an open book. I can read your every move. Too easy. Score for Dante. I'm up 1.
When did you learn to count? We're even.
Come on. You know how
Don't get at anyone now. Sword. Don't kneel before. Don't kneel before.
I'm just wondering what Dante and Virgil would have been like to teach. They were probably homeschooled, but still. The idea of them in a public school is terrifying. Oh shit, I found something the other day and I meant to send it to you. Dan Southworth in promotional videos for Tekken, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. He played Ryu in them. So, voice of Virgil also played Ryu for a little bit. I'm just...
Don't you dare say it.
jackpot. Why you gotta leave me hanging? We used to love saying that.
I have no recollection.
Well, let me jog your memory. A little Virgil. Crying in the corner. Because Mommy got mad.
I seem to recall you crying every time Father raised his voice.
How would they feel if they saw us now?
What does it matter? We're still here, aren't we?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Hold on, I don't know if I still have that, Okay, copy video URL. I do have it open still. You're welcome. Oh! Yeah! Oh, I did it. Okay. Oh, hell yeah. I forgot. I didn't do that. No, not options. Gallery. So, if you clear the post credits thing successfully, the credits sequence as Virgil successfully, you get extra music for Virgil. Thank you. Now, I think they should have done Divine Hate instead of Virtual Battle 1, but... This is why I think they should have done Divine Hate instead, because Dante already has this music. Just a different rendition of it, a different mix. I think that's good for the night, though, don't you? Oh wait, no. I will do one very brief thing, and that's to ensure that Nero is on the title screen.
Dante. Let's get airborne. I can take you with no one.
So people were expecting. So is the show that happened today? That's for, or the last night or whatever. Is that still part of the festival that MCR are at, or is that an unexpected thing? Okay.
Get airborne. Hold on, Dante. Let's see. Which... Let's get airborne.
Oopsie. I end by kicking him in the balls.
Is this my limit?
By the way, when you play as Virgil in DMC Devil May Cry, you can never have the fedora on, by the way. Ah, yes. The weather.
Devil May Cry.
That's okay. I just, like, first you spell sentence with the A, and then you're like, I need to correct that. Then you write sentence, and then you go, whoopadaver. But it all came from, like, you trying, like, lamenting your overuse of a word with no other notable mistakes. I'm sorry, it's just your typing is beautiful. Anyway, thank you for coming by. I do appreciate it. I hope I think it's a blessing. But I'll probably see you again soon. And then thank you. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you later. Good night. I hope you feel better and the pain stops and people, other fans stop being shitty. Anyway, good night.